we've got breaking news on this edition of Dolphins Today, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it, so dial it in, buckle up that seatbelt. Here we go. It's been an eventful 24 hours, really a couple of days for Dolphins fans. Some good news, some bad news all over the place. Obviously, the tough loss to the Titans on Monday Night Football. But lo and behold, we've got some good news for you. Breaking news, the Dolphins have signed Melvin Ingram to the practice squad after a workout with the team, and he is officially back. I know for Dolphins fans, he is no stranger to the aqua and orange, and Melvin Ingram is officially a Miami Dolphin. So again, it's been a crazy 24 hours, lots to digest. But that is why you subscribe, because we're with you every step of the way. When breaking news happens, we've got you covered. So if you haven't yet, smash that sub button. You'll be glad you did. Give it a week trial, one of those things. It doesn't cost you anything. If you don't love our wall-to-wall daily coverage of the Miami Dolphins, you can unsubscribe. But I'm confident that you won't, because like I said, when breaking news happens, we've got you covered. So let's get into that breaking news. Melvin Ingram, the newest member of the Miami Dolphins. Welcome back, my friend Melvin Ingram. And here's a look at his production over the course of the last 4 seasons. Now, again, 2022 with Miami. And you know what? One of the things I love about Melvin Ingram is his availability. 17 games played. And obviously, in the midst of all the injuries that the Dolphins are battling, that's a welcome sign. 22 tackles, 6 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, and the forced fumble in 2022. And the production has been there all throughout his career. That 2019 season, 7 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, and 48 tackles all around. So, listen, there was a lot to be said about the Dolphins adding some depth at the defensive line position group, and I think that's exactly what you see here. And yes, it's going to be difficult to replace the production of Jalen Phillips, who is gone for the year, but guys like Andrew Van Ginkel, Emmanuel Ogbah, and now with the signing of Melvin Ingram, although it be to the practice squad and still needs to be elevated to the 53-man roster, those are all guys capable of shouldering the load and continuing to carry on the production of this Dolphins defense that had their weak spots in that game against the Titans, but since Week 9 has been one of the better defenses in the National Football League. So you've got the stat, you've got the breakdown from Melvin Ingram and what he's been able to produce over the course of the last 4 years. And now I want to hear your one-word reaction. Let me know in the comments. Let me know your one-word reaction on the Dolphins signing Melvin Ingram, and if you think he can make some valuable contributions to this team. My one-word reaction is we don't have to go too far back to know exactly what we're getting with Melvin Ingram. We spent some time with the Dolphins last year, 2022, so my word is familiarity. And again, he is familiar with this Dolphins defense, albeit a new defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio this year, but a guy that can make some impactful plays and add to the depth of this defensive line. Zach Sealer's been incredible all season. He had the pick 6 against the Titans last night. Raekwon Davis is starting to show some production, and we know Christian Wilkins is the anchor of that defensive line, and this defensive line goes as he does. And now you start to see Deshaun Hand was in there making plays on Monday Night Football. Emmanuel Ogbah's got a number of sacks to his name this year. And now add Melvin Ingram. And you talk about this position group, the defensive line for the Dolphins. In addition to the secondary, they have played really well this season. You look at the 2023 sack leaders. Like I mentioned, Christian Wilkins is the anchor of this defensive line. Bradley Chubb had that costly penalty in last night's game. I got to work on it. I'll forgive him eventually, but my goodness, that was so dumb. But he still got 6.5 sacks on the season, so the production's been there. Zach Sealer, we talked about. Jalen Phillips, unfortunately gone for the season. Throw in Emmanuel Ogbah there, and this is a position group that is getting it done, and as the season progresses, has started to become more and more of a strength of this Dolphins team, which I anticipate seeing even more as the games continue to go on and we get into the latter portion of the season down the stretch. A strong defensive line, edge rushers that can get pressure on the quarterback, disrupt the flow of the offense. That's a winning formula for any defense. And I love this signing of Melvin Ingram. You know what else I love? Using my one and only, the only ticketing app you need, GameTime. That's right. GameTime is far and away the best and easiest way to get all your tickets that you need to live events. So let's say you're going out to Hard Rock Stadium. Maybe you're catching some NBA action, whatever it is. Hey, you want to hit a concert? No problem. That's where GameTime steps in. And in fact, they specialize in getting you the lowest price, even on last-minute deals. So maybe you're a little bit spontaneous. You're like me. You call up, hey, your best buds. Hey, Coop, come on, we're going to the game. You got to download the GameTime app for last-minute ticket deals because, like I said, they're going to get you the lowest price guaranteed. Super easy to use app. A nice high-resolution photo so you know exactly where you're sitting. No deception. Couple clicks of the button, and next thing you know, you are on your way using that GameTime app, and we love you and we care about you. That's why we've got $20 off using that promo code FINSCHAT. It's PHINSCHAT with $20 off. We'll put that link in the description of today's video as well to make it really easy to download the GameTime app. So snag the tickets without the stress using GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create that account, and use code FINSCHAT, PHINSCHAT, for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply, but create that account, redeem that code using FINSCHAT for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today for last-minute tickets and the lowest price, guaranteed. Now, I want to wrap it up with some injury updates. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but some developing information as it relates to two of the Dolphins stars. First, with Connor Williams. This one's difficult to swallow because we felt like the writing was on the wall and it was coming, and lo and behold, the Dolphins' worst nightmares are in fact true with Connor Williams. It's a torn ACL, out for the season, and arguably the most productive offensive lineman on the team, the most productive center in the National Football League, is seeing his season come to an end. Just some devastating news for the Dolphins. In 497 snaps, he's allowed just one sack and really has been the staple of that offensive line. And when you combine it with the fact that he's on the end of the contract, remember, he held out in training camp, and so this will really be looming large for the future of Connor Williams. Difficult to say exactly what that impact will be, but in the immediate impact, really devastating news for the Dolphins and Connor Williams. Gone for the season with the torn ACL. And like I said, one of the most productive offensive linemen, and according to Pro Football Focus, the most productive center in the National Football League. Just a huge loss for the Aqua and Orange. And when it rains, it pours with the offensive line and the injuries overall. I mean, that entire left side, Teron Armstead missed Monday Night Football. We know Isaiah Wynn's been out for extended time. Connor Williams now gone for the season. Rob Hunt missed the game on Monday Night Football and has missed several games in a row now as well. Austin Jackson's been dealing with a lot. So Liam Eichenberg for now will be the backup center, with even Lester Cotton taking some snaps at the backup center position as well. So really a lot to process today. You got the signing of the Melvin Ingram. You got Connor Williams lost for the season. And let's not forget how important he was to that offensive line. Some statistics from Monday Night Football from Marcel Louis-Jacques per Next Gen Stats. I mean, Tua was just under duress the entire game, and you lost Connor Williams in the first quarter, playing without Armstead, playing without Wynn, playing without Hunt. The list goes on how beat up this Dolphins offensive line was, and as the numbers show you, they just weren't able to protect Tua last night. Pressure on 39% of his dropbacks, sacked 5 times, that's a season high, and when facing pressure, Tua was just 4 of 11 for 27 yards. And without pressure, he was much better, 19 of 22 for 213 yards. But unfortunately, with that offensive line as depleted as they were, that was a huge component of that game against the Titans in which the Dolphins fell short. Last but certainly not least, another update on the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill. There is none like him. Of course, he left the game Monday night, but did return later on, although he did later admit he was not himself. And Mike McDaniel has said he's day-to-day. But I did get a kick out of this. How about when at halftime he was in a lot of pain? He was texting with his wife, and he said, quote, "It was a lot of pain. It sucked. I've been dealing with ankle injuries this whole season. Texted my wife, it hurt. She said," I love this quote, "You better get your ass back in that game." And that just, I think, is a look into Tyreek Hill's mentality, which has obviously produced some of the best stats that we've seen. And yes, the 61 yards in Monday night against the Titans was well below his season average, but he's still not necessarily on pace, but still has the 2,000 yards within reach, that goal that he set. And if he can do it, he'll have his work cut out for him against the remaining teams on the Dolphins schedule. You got the Jets coming up, followed by a big game week 16 against the Cowboys. And then this one could be huge for the AFC in the seeding against Baltimore in week 17. And maybe, I don't want to get crazy, but depending on how things go, that week 18 matchup against Buffalo will be at home at Hard Rock Stadium. In fact, for the Dolphins, 3 of their final 4 games are at home, but perhaps that game could have some serious division implications on the line. But for now, the Dolphins depleted with some injuries. They've signed Melvin Ingram. We'll keep you updated on Tyreek Hill. Connor Williams gone for the season, but welcome aboard the newest member of the Miami Dolphins. Welcome back, I should say, Melvin Ingram. And that, my friends, is why you subscribe, because when Dolphins news happens, we've got you covered. We've got you informed on the latest from Miami in all aspects. And that is why you subscribe. If you haven't done it, so do it now. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Shout out to Coop on the ones and twos. Always a pleasure. And as always, keep it locked to the Dolphins Today YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time on Dolphins Today.